Hello and welcome. In this video, I would like to ask the question, is Destiny 2 and Limbo between genres? The two genres I'm talking about are looter shooter and MMORPG. Now I know Destiny 2 will never be a full-on MMORPG, but it can certainly get close. One reason why Destiny 2 feels like it's stalling might be Bungie's split from Activision. I know that excuse is running a little long in the tooth now, and it's about a year ago, but transitions like that can take a lot of time, especially if Bungie's vision for Destiny 2 is far removed from what Activision left behind. That excuse aside, why do I think Destiny 2 is slipping away from the looter shooter genre into the MMO one? Well, there's plenty of loot in Destiny 2 and you shoot stuff, so it must be a looter shooter. Well, sadly, it's not that easy. There's more to a looter shooter than that. For my yardstick, I'm using Destiny 1 Year 1, and to a slightly lesser extent, Borderlands 2. Both of these titles dealt heavily in randomness, but just in different ways. Borderlands 2 had enemies with fixed drops, but the randomness was dealt out in the drop rates. Doc Mercy could drop you in the Infinity Pistol on the first attempt, or the 100th attempt. D1 dealt with randomness in a different way. Not having specific enemies drop specific weapons meant that loot had to drop from activity ends and world drops. Exotic engram drops were slightly more frequent than legendary drops from B2, but again, what exotic contained within that engram was random. Can you see what I'm getting at? I think the key element of a looter shooter is randomness, RNG. Destiny 2 has slowly been moving away from RNG from probably midway through year 2, then Shadowkeep kicked it up a gear. Currently, the only true RNG item that has stayed that way through both iterations of Destiny is the Raid Tide Exotic, with a couple of exceptions. So what other MMO elements are creeping into Destiny 2? Well, aside from the slow elimination of luck, there are a couple that a friend has pointed out to me. The free-to-play mode, the free-play model, beg pardon, is a very big part of it. The guaranteed exotic and items from progressing through the season pass, the seemingly increased focus on PvE content and balance over PvP, and the new introduction with this raid, the Deepstone Crypt, is the choice of role on your weapon upon its completion. Now these 4 or 5 changes don't sound like much, but their slow and deliberate introduction takes Destiny 2 closer to an MMO each time one of them is added. A final reason why Destiny 2 may have slipped may be gleaned from this quote from Bungie CEO Pete Parsons. I found it in the Washington Post in an article by Gene Park. I quote, "We've been able to take some of our top talent and begin focusing on new incubations." End quote. Now I'm excited for some new IPs from Bungie, but let's hope that top talent comes back to Destiny 2 before it's too late. So, back to my original question. Why would Bungie change the genre of Destiny 2, or at least slip further away from it than what it used to be? Destiny 2 has complete control over its corner of the market. Plenty of titles have tried to surpass Destiny 2 and take control of the loot shooter player base, and failed. Anthem, Division 1 and 2, Marvel's Avengers, Borderlands 3, and the newest challenger Godfall. Each of those titles was highly anticipated, but ultimately failed to do what it set out to do, and become the dominant force in the genre. But with Destiny 2 slipping away from the looter shooter genre, it's leaving a huge space behind it. And all it needs is a balanced and stable game to come along from a AAA developer, and Destiny 2 will die a death. Bungie needs to recorner the market. It has an incredibly loyal fanbase, but if something better comes along that can capture players' imagination even half as well as Destiny did, the fanbase will just jump ship. I would like to end on another quote, this time from Luke Smith from the same article in the Washington Post as before. He refers to Destiny 2 Vanilla. Quote, "But ultimately, we found that Destiny players were largely Destiny players. We had made a thing that didn't appeal to them the same way because we were looking to new players. And that was a tremendous source of disappointment for us as well as the players. I feel like we had drifted away from a game that I love." End quote. Now I found that interesting because I feel like Destiny 2 is currently better suited to new and casual players, and that it's drifting away from a game that I love. Anyway, Thanks for watching, especially if you made it to the end. Do you think do you think Destiny 2 is in limbo between genres? What do you think about the Bungie higher ups and what they've said in the quotes? Feel free to comment down below and continue the conversation down there. Thanks again. Bye bye.